2020. Roll call, Mr. Anderson,
Here.
Mr. Block,
Here.
Mr. Mandrick,
Here.
Mr. Turner,
Here.
and Campbell here. Thank you all for being here. We have quite a bit on the agenda today. First, do we have any public comments? Mr. Sample or Ms. Contreras?
Just confirming, Madam President, we do not have any public comment at this time.
Thank you. We will be, first I want to just say thank you everyone who's with us tonight, all of you online and all of our board members and cabinet and our superintendent. We're very glad to see everyone and thank you for being here. We will be leaving this meeting shortly, going into closed session. We have 2 items for closed session. One is existing litigation, Government Code 54956, Finney versus Gateway Community Charter. And then we will have employee performance evaluation superintendent, Government Code Section 54957. So we will be going into closed session at this time. Yes, Mr. Turner.
Can I add a point of personal privilege? At the last board meeting, when we went to the room out for the closed session, I got dropped out and could not get back in. Could I ask that if I am dropped out again, that you give me some time to try to find a way to get back into the meeting?
Okay, we shall do that. And we did wait last time quite a while. And we tried to figure out where you were, but we will certainly wait again.
Thank you.
Time. Thank you. Okay, and so with that, we will be recessing for closed session and we will be returning after closed session. Thank you.
That went more smooth than last time, so that's good. You're muted, Christine.
We're still live on YouTube, so I'm going to
Yes.
go ahead and put up the slide.
Perfect.
Okay, we are back. Thank you. And I just want to report that no action was taken at the closed session. So thank you, everyone. All right. And now we will move back into our regular agenda, which is the superintendent's update. Are you ready, Dr. Peterson?
I am ready. So
Okay, it's all yours.
definitely want to affirm the board for their leadership in difficult times. It's always, we are always appreciative of the fact that you volunteer your time and your services, and that this is, not exactly recreational for you. And we appreciate that you are, in fact, leading us. I wanted to remind the organization and those listening that we are very honored to have each of you as our board. And as far as our updates go, COVID-19 is a big issue, of course. Sacramento and Yolo counties, where all of our schools are located now, are moving to red as of today. And we have a study session item where Jason is going to fill you in a little more on what that means to be in the red tier. Of course, you've been reading probably some of it in the Sacramento Bee and other places, but I believe that Jason will focus in for you on what it means for our schools. We have already been anticipating when this day would come. It's a little quicker than we thought it was going to happen, but we have had the principals creating reopening plans since back in March, May, June, all of that time. So now we're tweaking them, seeing if they still work. And as Ms. Lilly referred to, we have a survey going out from each of the school sites to get information in order to do that planning. There are some very specific guidelines we have to meet. And again, I know Jason will tell you about those in his study session items. And that's the most pressing part of our response right now, is to ensure that we are handling the areas that county health says must be handled before we can open. Principals have, although still been in planning all this time, we pulled them into an urgent meeting yesterday to really talk about what is known and what is not known, which is a lot of what's happening right now. And then we continue to monitor what's going on. Even today, there were 2 or 3 different times when information was changing throughout today. So we continue to monitor and share with our administrators so they can be partners in the process, of course. Superintendent fall presentation time is here. I have completed CCCS McClellan's Higher Learning Academy Futures and SAVAs. And have upcoming, of course, EPIC, CCCS K-8, GIS, COA Elementary, and COA Middle School. I think that we are trying to get them all done by the end of October. It is not quite as relational and fun as we enjoy when I get to go out to the sites and shake hands and look in people's eyes and interact with people, but we've been doing the best we can with the circumstance we have, just as we're doing here. Always excited to be able to share vision, mission, and strategy and key priorities as we go forward. Our equity work is one of those key priorities. As you know, we are continuing on numerous fronts, but in particular this week, we've been doing preparation work with the consultant we've been working with, Hanover, to do some deep dive data reiterative process work as an example for the principals, and hoping that we can, as an administrator team, go stronger in our ability to look at data in meaningful ways in our equity work. So we're looking forward to that on Thursday. This week we also, was it this week? Or was it last week? Last week we had a central office retreat. It's all just fuzzy right now, but the central office retreat was very successful. It was a 9 to 3 event. We had relationship building, we had State of the Union, we had key priorities, core commitments. We introduced our new book for that group. And I think it was well done, considering the format, again, was not everything we would have wanted it to be, and we had full participation. Really want to affirm both Jason and Christine, who were the key planners for that event this year and really created a lot of the content and the flow, and I just got to be extra added value and present a little bit, and that was nice. But definitely some good work went on. Aaron Thornsberry also played a role in helping to create this year's social contract and some other good pieces. So it's nice seeing the cabinet team beginning to be to have the work more equitably shared across cabinet work and responsibilities, really seeing our team grow in amazing ways already this year. So we're excited about that equity work. We're excited about that central office retreat. But I will tell you, we're also pleased to say that retreat season is done for a while, because 3 retreats is a lot of work, even on a Zoom platform. I continued to attend the weekly AXA Superintendent's Leadership Council meetings, which have been highly valuable in understanding what the rest of the world is doing and how they're going about it and what their questions are. Also, on a regular basis, I step into the Hanover National Superintendents Group and listen to what they're saying as well. And then Crucial Conversations, cohort 24. Is going into, I believe, their 3rd lesson this week. Again, using Zoom, not our favorite way, but Christine and I are finding, well, it's an enhanced way this year. So this year we're better than in the spring. And we're looking forward to, hopefully, maybe this coming spring, we might be able to do a face-to-face, which would be a whole lot nicer. And then lastly, I have again been asked to re-up my FCMAT board service for, I don't know, the 3rd or 4th time to represent charter schools and to represent the GCC with FCMAT. And there is an upcoming FCMAT board meeting this Sunday. I know you guys are jealous that on a Sunday from 9 to 1, I will be discussing all of the exciting things in the world of finance and compliance with FCMAT this Sunday. So I just want to take a last moment and affirm all of our principles. From March to today and probably on into the rest of this school year, there has been a lot to handle, a lot of changing, a lot of shifting. There's a lot of constituents and we can't make them all happy. There's just no way. And so I just want to affirm our administrators for keeping their be brave attitude, for staying in the fight, so to speak, and really staying student focused as they try to find these solutions, knowing that there is not a solution that's going to make everybody happy. So with that, that is the superintendent's update, Madam President.
Thank you so much for all of your work and all of the things that you're doing. Board members, any comments, any questions? If board members don't have anything, I want to affirm you and cabinet, all of the cabinet members. Are the new directors part of it, or are they with the administration?
The new directors are in a middle level management role, if you will. We have what I'm not going to get the name right. Not superintendent's cabinet, superintendent. Okay, what's the name, Blythe? We've come up with a new name for them.
Executive cabinet.
Executive
Executive
cabinet.
cabinet. Okay,
Executive,
so
okay.
we are calling this middle level executive cabinet just to confuse me with executive committee.
Yeah,
But executive cabinet is all of our directors,
okay,
including the 2 new in ed services. And all of them are playing roles of leadership and growing their leadership. Certainly we had presentations and content
Mhm.
created by them for the central office retreat. You know,
Great.
I have to keep reminding them myself that they haven't even really been here 90 days yet. So we do have to kind of give them a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
of time, but they're jumping in, and I know Christine would affirm they are doing great work, and they're going to be and continue to grow into more and more amazing work to support our organization. So.
I just want to share this with the board. When I came over to meet with you, both of them came up to me, both of the new directors, Christine, came up and said they were so glad to see me again. So in person, because I did meet in person with you. So that was really neat. So thank you again, all of you, for your hard work and just keeping the ship afloat, because without you guys, it would not be. So I want to thank you personally on behalf of the board. Okay. All right. And with that, we will now move into study session.
We're going to turn it
on
over to Mr.
COVID-19
Sample. So I will say, as he's loading this up, Mr. Sample and Dr. McCormick, they have been attending exciting, regular, ongoing, multiple webinars from anyone who is giving updates around this issue. And sometimes they have, two computers going, watching more than one at the same time to try to be sure they're not missing information. And they have really stepped up to this challenge of knowing what there is to be known. So Jason, I appreciate you and Dr. McCormick very much. I know some of what you have to present today is also based on her good work as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Peterson, and good evening, board, Madam President and board members. So just want to give you just a brief update. I think Dr. Peterson said it well in terms of this has been collectively our team kind of working through this and getting the information. And so we're really excited, as well as we're excited about the journey ahead. So I want to start off by, there we go, kind of walking us through. You may have heard that about 3 weeks ago. What's kind of funny is I think it happened the day after our board retreat. We had our board retreat on a Monday, and that Tuesday, the state went to a new system. So for the majority of the time of COVID-19, we've been hearing about the county monitoring list. Well, the state a few weeks back went to a system of the California blueprint for a safer economy. And what you've probably heard, and it's been a funny thing within the world of education, is we have another dashboard. So this is yet another dashboard that we're looking at. And so here's what the new framework did. It pretty much created these 4 categories that a county could be in, and a county would stay into these bands for a certain number of weeks, depending on what was happening with 1, hospitalization, and 2, the number of positive cases identified, as well as the number of ICU beds that they had available. And so for the last 3 weeks, Sacramento County has been in what's called purple, or widespread, meaning that most non-essential indoor operations and businesses, including schools, could not operate and could not be functioning. Well, last week, Sacramento County, for the first time, moved into what's called the red matrix. And so, even though our color band did not change, we still actually moved into that space. On today, and I will tell you, this literally happened this morning at 10:04, but then it was actually stopped, and then it happened again at 11:12. Sacramento County moved, as well as Yolo County, excuse me, both moved to red today. We had been anticipating that this was going to happen for quite some time. And so Dr. McCormick, Dr. Peterson, on yesterday met with our principals and really began to walk them through this early stage so that even before this information was released, they actually had the foreknowledge of it. What this means that we're in red is that we are at between 5 to 8% of positive cases. And looking at our numbers today is actually 5.6% of positive cases in our county. So therefore, there is what they call the less restrictions that are placed on us. Some of the things that we're doing in addition to obviously our planning is, for us, planning has been ongoing. This has been something that has been constantly, I would say, when our doors physically closed in March, planning actually started at that time for this school year and looking ahead and seeing what would be necessary for our students. So there's been a lot of prevention measures that we have been focusing on, and that's equipment installation, installing the plexiglass at our school public counters, as well as in restrooms. Cleaning protocols, cleaning products have been purchased, as well as cleaning assignments, and face coverings for staff and students have been ordered. Food services, Aaron and his crew have been working very hard to ensure that our food services as we move forward continues for our students, and that families have access to that nutritious meal, as well as air quality, ensuring that we have proper filtration, that we have fresh air in our classrooms as they come out, cleaning stations, ensuring that we have spaces for our students to wash their hands, sanitize on a constant basis. And then staff training has been ongoing, not only for our certificated staff, but also our classified staff during this time, so that they are all trained on COVID protocols and the things necessary. And finally, I think Ms. Campbell, you shared earlier about the communications. We really have tried to be very intentional about our ongoing communications, not only with staff, but with parents, and even Dr. Peterson keeps in regular contact with our authorizers, superintendents, letting them know this is what we've been doing in terms of our distance learning and things like that when major transitions happen. So that's been a huge part of the work that we've been doing. The final kind of piece that we are joining with Sacramento County and other schools is we're looking to turn Sacramento orange. An orange Sacramento is an open Sacramento. And so the goal for Sacramento County is to turn orange by October 31st. And so we are joining in that effort to do our part. So we're continuing to get not only messages of safety out, but we're encouraging individuals to wear masks, maintain social distancing. We have banners at our school campuses that kind of say, hey, we care. We care about our community. And the banners also tell our community how they can remain safe and healthy during this time. So, board, we ask you to join us in helping to turn Sacramento orange, because an orange Sacramento is an open Sacramento.
Yes,
Thank you. And I'll
Thank-
take any questions.
thank you. Board members?
I'll do, Ms. Campbell.
All right, Mr. Block.
What about the restrooms? I have concern, especially with kinder through third grade.
So with the restrooms, our facilities team has already been kind of working on not only cleaning protocols, but also installation of plexiglass. We are going through to ensure that all of those are in place actually before students return back to campus, but we do have those safety measures put in place.
I'm talking about when kindergarten uses bathrooms and first grade uses the bathroom, I'm not sure they follow too many protocols. So I have some concerns about that.
Okay. Mr. Walk, what we'll do is we'll make sure that we get that information for you and update you. But I do know that kind of cleaning as well as, monitoring. So you're not going to have 2 and 3 kinders going to the restroom at the same time. It will be one at a time. Those are all things that are part of the plan that we will be working through with public health.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Could you move me off to turn green, turn orange, please? So I can see my board members. Okay, there we are. Thank you. Any other comments or anything, any questions or concerns from board members about where we are at this point as we are moving towards hopefully face-to-face instruction?
I will add on to what
Okay.
Mr. Sample said in this way. We're not going to open, obviously, until we can meet all the requirements of the county, and they have to sign off. Certainly, when the waiver was outlined, they asked for a 14-day notice. So at this point, Dr. McCormick and Mr. Sample are trying to figure out what is the most efficient way to provide the information to the county when they begin to accept these to consider opening. We believe that we are able to be open on the 19th or the 26th of October with the timeline that we've been provided. Being able isn't the same as doing it. Okay, so each site has to know they can meet all the safety precautions. They have to understand how they're going to provide education in multiple settings. There's a lot of things to be answered. And It may very well be that one school figures that out by the 19th and another doesn't figure that out to the 26th. It may be that most of our schools, when they open on the 19th or the 26th, may only be serving our most at-risk students, our English learners, our special education, maybe our homeless in some smaller way as that bridge before we get to more students on campus. I just want you to know that we are, as the cabinet, supporting the administrators to get the information they need and come back with a plan. We are not telling them what the plan is because, as you know, we have always centered our work on connected autonomy. And so we want them to be able to individually decide that. So there will not be a single GCC response. There will be 9 responses possibly, but as those become apparent, we will be sharing them with you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Thank you, Dr. McCormick and Mr. Sample, for the work, all of you, that you're doing. So thank you very, very much. And we know that you're going to do what is in the best interest of staff, students, and parents. So we have no qualms about that. We know that you will make sure everything is in place before we start. Okay. Seeing no other hands and no other comments, we will now move into our consent agenda items from 7:1 to 7:11. Adoptions of the minutes of the last board meeting, personnel consent agenda, purchases over 30,000, superintendent's employment agreement, addendum 2020-21, GCC board governance policy, conflict of interest codes revised, learning continuity and attendance plan, GCC board resolution, certificated staff appreciation week, GCC board resolution, classified employees appreciation week, GCC board resolution, school administrators appreciation week, GCC board resolution, national school choice week, and finally, adoption of the GCC blueprint for excellence 2020-2021, and it was excellent. Very well done. So with that, I will now entertain a motion for consent agenda items. Approval. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Mark Anderson.
Move approval.
Move approval. Do I have a second? Mr. Turner? Jackie on mute. I need a second.
I second.
Okay,
thank
and
you.
for clarity with the video, Bruce Mandrick was the audio for the motion.
Oh,
And
okay.
then the second was Jack Turner.
It's Jack Turner, yes. And now do we have any discussion, any questions, any discussion on any of the items that we listed?
I want to make sure, Mr. Block, was that hand a question? No,
Oh, I didn't see him up in the corner there.
I think he was just messing with his screen or his,
Okay, I
okay.
don't see his hand now. And I do want to just make a comment. Again, I alluded to the adoption of the blueprint. Very well done. And I'm glad to see there is quite a focus on the equity piece and where we are working with Hanover and all of that. So thank you for all the work that you've done. It's quite an interesting read with all of the goals of the schools and the missions of all of the schools and what have you. So I appreciate getting that and having the opportunity to read it. Thank you. And now with that, I will call for the vote on the consent agenda items. Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Block.
Yes.
Mr. Mandrak.
Yes.
Mr. Turner.
Yes.
And Campbell, yes. So the consent agenda items have unanimously been approved. Thank you, board members. All right, we will now move to item 12, personnel, director and cabinet level salary equity 2020-21. Madam President.
So, yes, I will address this. So I believe the background was fairly clear on this item, but I will reiterate it. The Director of Human Resources has a salary line that is significantly less than other classified directors. So this creates equity with her salary line retroactive to July 1. Her Director of HR salary will then match the Director of Data and the, help me out here, the other Director of Data and Director of, Community, School, Parent, and Government Relations, sorry. So those three salaries will all be on the same salary line. They are all three classified positions. So it is overdue, long overdue. I would say I want to make sure that we give kudos to Laura Berrigan, who has been with us a long time and provides a huge amount of service to our schools and is incredibly competent and always growing in her capacity. So it's an honor to bring that equity adjustment to you. The other director salaries that we are asking for equity adjustment are the two directors in educational services. Historically, when we first created central office directors, we kept their salary to mirror the principal 2 salary, and somehow they've gotten separated. So this is a correction to once again have the Director of Academics and the Director of Special Education line items match the principal 2 salary line. That would be also retroactive to July 1. And then the last items are a bit of a fix on cabinet level salaries. While the assistant superintendent had a significant change in salary because of moving from a director to a first-year assistant superintendent, there's no need for a correction at this time there, but both the deputy superintendent and the chief business official roles were only afforded the 1.5% increase, when for equity with others, or had they been on the salary schedule, they would have gotten the 2.5% column adjustment or step adjustment and the 1.5%. So this just seeks to correct that for those two individuals. I believe that's everything that's in that line item.
Yes, that is correct. Okay, board members, before we take a vote, do you have any qualifying questions or comments? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion for the salary equity improvement of all directors and cabinets.
So moved.
That was Mark Anderson, so moved.
Second.
And was it
Second.
Jack? Who did the second?
Harry.
Harry, thank you. It has been moved in second to accept the information and approve the salary equity for 2020-21 of directors and cabinets. Roll call vote. Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Block,
Yes.
Mr. Mandrick,
Yes.
Mr. Turner,
Yes.
and Campbell, yes. So unanimously approved by all members of the board, and thank you for making sure that we have great staff and that we're able to keep great staff. That's really important. All right. Hey, guess what? We have taken care of all of our business except board comments. We're now ready for board comments. Yes, Mr. Turner, Jack.
I appreciate the update from Jason on the perhaps opening up the schools. And I would assume that if we go to Orange, that we can start having live in-person board meetings.
Yes. Yes. Let's hope. Let's pray. Be glad when that happens. I need to touch you guys. I need to see you, not on Zoom. All right, other comments? I had the opportunity, and Dr. Peterson, you will appreciate this, to hear yesterday on AXA. We had Flippin and Vern on as the guest speakers talking about reframing. And that is the new word. Instead of lamenting over all of the negative things, let's look at how we can reframe and move it into a positive. Yes, we've been out of school for a long time, but we're so thankful that we were able to educate our kids online. That's a reframe. So it was very, very good yesterday to listen to those two talk, both Flip Flipping and Vern. They really making a big difference across the United States. So you can share that. And I'm just ready to get back into the schools. That's my board comment. Announcement of the next board meeting. We were gonna put it on here, but it didn't get on.
So the next regular scheduled board meeting is October 13th at 4:45.
October 13th, 4:45, everyone. Very good. Anything else for the good of the organization? Anyone? Anything? Again, thank you, Cabinet. Thank you, staff. Thank you, Blight, for your hard work. And all of you, Aaron, everyone, just thank you for keeping us moving in the right direction. And if there is nothing else, I will entertain a motion for adjournment. Don't forget the debates tonight. Yes, Mr.
I
Turner.
move we adjourn.
All right, a second?
Second.
Second, Mark. With them, it has been moved and second that the meeting be adjourned at this time at 5:30 p.m. Time to go back and listen to the presidential debate. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.